Well, Deb Murphy filed a report for Sierra Wave Media, writing that Southern Inyo Healthcare District's parcel tax measure may not be popular with constituents, but it may be the only way to keep the hospital open. That was the grim news from the board of directors delivered at Tuesday's meeting. Now, Deb writes that unfortunately the structure of the board meeting had the bad news delivered first. Chief Executive Officer Brian Cotter had to wait until the end to run through news that the district is making significant strides to climb out of 2 years under the bad management of healthcare conglomerate associates. Now, Measure J on a special April 10th ballot will raise $602,000 a year, $9,030,000 over its 15-year term. Now, the funds will be used to get the district out of bankruptcy, with any leftover available for seismic retrofitting or other facility upgrades. Now, the cost to residents, $215 per parcel per year. Now, by its very nature, parcel taxes are harder on the not rich than general obligation bonds with assessments based on the parcel's value. But GO bond funds are limited as to what they can be spent on, and getting out of bankruptcy is not on that list. Southern Inyo Healthcare District Board member Richard Fedchenko laid out the situation. The allowed claims in the bankruptcy totals a little less than $2 million. Now, you add in the claims from HCCA, its affiliates, and a disputed loan taken out in 2015, the total $8 million. Now, the district filed its debt readjustment plan in mid-January, with a hearing scheduled for February 28th. Deb Murphy's full story is posted on sierrawave.net. Well, if you're curious to learn more about the mule deer, their migration, and how they are coping with the recent challenges, on Saturday, March 3rd, Eastern Sierra Land Trust inviting everyone to explore a portion of the migration corridor during its Mule Deer Migration Corridor field trip. Special guest Timothy Taylor from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife will join Eastern Sierra Land Trust to share stories and information about the Round Valley mule deer herd. Now, every year, many wildlife species in the Eastern Sierra migrate in search of warmer weather, food, and a place to have their young. Press release notes for the local Round Valley mule deer herd, early spring marks the time to venture onto well-worn trails. Now, mule deer preparing for their journey from their winter range in the valley to their summer range in the mountain meadows. Along their route, they will follow the same paths they have taken for generations, what biologists call a migration corridor. Now, near the small residential communities of Paradise and Swall Meadows, mule deer on their migration must travel through a narrow bottleneck between the steep cliffs of Wheeler Ridge and the deep canyon of Lower Rock Creek Gorge to reach the meadows where they spend their summer. The herd must face old and new threats to their survival. Traveling through this cramped corridor has become more dangerous in recent years. Press release notes, with increased development and traffic, food and safe shelter have become scarcer. In addition, long periods of drought, heavy winters, and wildfires further limit available resources. And as these conditions become the new normal, mule deer are forced to adapt. Now, concerned about the growing threats to mule deer and other wildlife that use this migration corridor, a group of local community members came together in 2001 and formed what became the Eastern Sierra Land Trust. Since then, ESLT has helped landowners in Swall Meadows area conserve 269 acres of private land, ensuring safer passage for the mule deer as they travel through the area twice a year. Again, the Eastern Sierra Land Trust Mule Deer Migration Corridor Field Trip, March 3rd, CSLT.org for all of the details. Well, this is some interesting news from the Superior Court of California, County of Inyo. They're announcing the upgrade to the jury summons process. Prospective jurors can now fill out their jury summons response online. Now, in order to use the online system, all that is needed is the barcode number listed on the summons and the prospective juror's date of birth. Now, once logged in, the prospective jurors can review and change contact information, indicate they will be appearing on the summon date, request an excuse or postponement. Oh, just go to jury duty, or check to see if the excuse or postponement has been granted. Check to see if the scheduled appearance has been moved or canceled. Jurors may also continue to mail in their summons, as was the previous practice of the court. but it's really small writing. I can't do it that small. The website for the jurors to respond to their summons, juryweb.inyo.courts.ca.gov. All the necessary information can be found on the jury summons issued by the Inyo County Superior Court. Well, Mars Fest will be taking place February 23rd to the 25th in Death Valley National Park. Weekend will bring together scientists, educators, the public, national park enthusiasts to share this little known but important use of our land. Back on May 26, 1992, the Mars rover was tested in Death Valley, climbing the summit of Mars Hill. Now, this was the first time a private space organization involved the public in the actual test of a craft designed to explore another world. The Planetary Society's test brought together Russian, American, French, and Hungarian scientists and engineers and scientists who matched the Explorer against the most Mars-like terrain on Earth. Death Valley National Park has hosted Mars Fest since 2012, highlighting Death Valley's special connection to the night sky and its Mars-like landscape. All activities are free and open to the public. Should be great. See the Death Valley Natural History Association's website, dvnha.org, for all of that information. Well, the inaugural Mammoth Film Festival is now in the books. Many of the attendees were enjoying a night. Many cameras were catching all the action at Mammoth Rock and Roll. Bowling, it's crazy. Seinfeld reference. See all the winners from the Mammoth Film Festival on its Facebook page. We'll be back with more news.